Hi, it's Joy Foster, founder of Apprentices, and I am delighted that you're listening to the Sparkle and Thrive podcast today. We have a very special guest. Anna Badcock has joined us today. She was a tech fixie, is a tech fixie. We always say once a tech fixie, always a tech fixie. And she has gone on to launch two amazing businesses. And we're going to talk about those two businesses today and how the Tech Fixies program helped her to launch those businesses. Anna, thank you for being here today. And thank you for sharing your story.
My absolute pleasure, Joy.
There is so much to unpack here. So let's start with how you found out about Tech Fixies and how you got started with our training and what it led to. Let's start with how you found us and what it led to.
So I've been aware of you. I'm one of those kind of stalker people who just sits on the internet and sees what's going on. And I'd seen, I think, press pictures of you doing something and paid attention because I had not long before that been asked to start coaching digital marketing apprentices. My background is public relations and marketing. And I thought, well, I've taken a bit of a time out. I thought, well, I'll give it a go. I'd done a quick course in digital marketing and social media. And so I jumped on, but then I got to the stage thinking, I'm not sure. What do I not know? I don't know what I don't know. So I really wanted to come into a course that was going to give me all of that knowledge. And so I'd clearly been doing some searching. Your Facebook ads popped up. And at the time, it was right at the start of lockdown. And I had been an early catcher of COVID, and I was lying in bed and thinking, can't do anything, but I can learn. And so this thing popped up and I thought, right, I'm jumping in and I'm going to do it. And it just, everything about the free, was it 1 week or 2 weeks?
We have all sorts of different free training programs, but we did a 1 week social media supercharge, which I believe is what you did. And then we did the social media boot camp, which you can actually buy now as a self-paced version.
Brilliant.
So if you go to techfixies.com/bootcamp, you can do the self-paced version of our social media superhero bootcamp. And then we have, at the moment, it's April 2022, we're running a weekly social media crash course. Which sort of brings a whole week's knowledge into 1 hour. It is a crash course. We crash through it. But yeah, we always have a free training of some sort on the go to help people to really see what's going on with social media right now and what do I need to know about it. And you learned something very valuable that you were able to take into this training. So one of the businesses that you're involved in has to do with training apprentices. And you realize that, while a lot of companies think, it's great to hire someone who's young and get them at the start of their career. There is a problem with that. What's the problem that you see happening?
No, they don't have a clue about strategy and putting it all together. So what I kept seeing as coaching these apprentices were businesses that were really keen and really wanted and to scale up to digital and embrace everything. And they brought apprentices on board so they could grow them, but there was nobody helping them to put it all together, what they should be teaching the apprentice, how they should be doing it, dare I say, properly, so that you meet your business goals. So we can all just, young people are really good at navigating social media and chucking out content. So many of them are fearless. But it's how do you do it to meet the business goals so that your social media has an outcome? And that was the piece that was missing the thinking. So I learned into that.
That's so interesting. So I was just talking to someone about their digital marketing strategy. And on the social media crash course, we talk about something called the sunflower effect, which I've been teaching for many years. And it's this concept that, you have a product or a service, but you want to create weekly content that then drives traffic to your website, to your mailing list. Really important that weekly content serves a purpose. And even at Tech Fixies with our podcast, we are interviewing people that have completed the program and they're sharing their successes so that other people can be inspired who are in the program or who are thinking about the program. And also in these conversations, we pull out really great golden nuggets that someone who even is just interested in digital marketing across the board, let's say a business owner is listening to this and they want to hire an apprentice and they're going, oh, wait, I didn't know about that piece on the strategy piece.
Yeah.
There's other things you picked up with And that is that business owners sometimes aren't ready to hire someone. So you've worked out that that's also important to help business owners prepare to hire someone so that that hire goes smoothly. Tell us more about that.
So it's commissioning well. So it's understanding, having the knowledge as a business owner, and being equipped to make sensible decisions about when you're buying in your marketing, your digital marketing and social media. So it's supporting them in knowing what their business goals, how they're going to relate the digital marketing to that, so that they don't succumb to somebody coming in and going, hey, I can send you Facebook ads. I'm like, yeah, we need Facebook ads. and yes, you definitely will need Facebook ads, but when and how much and who's it targeting, and how is your social media going to be primed to make the most of that Facebook ad? Because if you haven't got your social media sorted out, Facebook ads aren't going to really work.
Oh, totally. We've had that conversation so many times. I mean, even in the crash course, I say to people, there's a difference between organic social media and paid social media. And you have to have good organic social media going before you create ads, because it doesn't, and you can use ads to test an idea, but you have to sort of know what you're testing and know what you're doing. So it definitely having built up an organic presence, even if it's a small organic presence, but you sort of know what people like and don't like, that makes it a lot easier to create those more advanced ads. Really interesting. So then the other business that you've set up is really interesting as well, because it's a coaching business, and you said you found the coaching at TechPixies invaluable. Tell me more about that. What does that mean?
Do you know what? That was the utterly life-changing part of it. So there I was, and so I've been working in marketing and publications for a long time, and 20 years ago I was doing a press tour for a big brand, and we basically at that time we were doing patching into radio stations. So we sat in a room and we'd be patching into one, and I had a life coach with me, and just in between the different things, tell me about life coaching. What's it all about? Fascinated, and then went off, had children, found other things, but kept looking at NLP, kept looking at life coaching, and then came into your course, and there was the lovely Teresa being amazing, and that life coaching piece, I hadn't realised I needed it, and when you're going through any kind of growth or change, your brain is going to try and stop that to keep you safe, and so you need the coaching that goes alongside any growth parts, because that's what's going to give you the change and take you forward and grow you. So I fully embraced everything that Teresa did, and then thought, hang on a minute, I remember I quite enjoyed this, and so I went off and I also learned NLP and life coaching, and then I'm also just about to finish my ICF qualification as well, the International Coach Federation. So that's opened up a whole raft of things that I had not even, I thought that just was never going to happen.
That is amazing. Well, and I say that about myself too. When I started TechPixies, I hired in life coaches to do majority of the life coaching. I knew it was essential. I knew, and actually I didn't understand or articulate it as well as you just did. And I got chills as you said that, because you completely nailed it. It's like anytime you go through a growth period in your life, every part of you is going, especially on the subconscious side, is going to flash up, no. And you actually, the point is you need coaching and support to get to the, yes, I'm going to do this and I deserve to do this and it's worthy of my time, energy, and effort, not am I worthy of it, right? And so there's a huge piece that has to happen on the coaching side. And that's actually, I think, I know that's one of the reasons that our completion rate is so high and that our success rate is so high.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. And I think it's that support. So I've done courses before and taken the learning out, but not finished them. And it was just, digging into, well, why was that? And getting the support and just the acknowledgement that as you're growing and you're learning, you're pushing through boundaries. And at times you're going to want to return back to the safe place. And that's normal. Everyone does it. And I think also it was one of your podcasts, one of your teachings, it was like all the big people who are doing really well, who are nailing life out there, they do coaching. And that was a moment I thought, oh goodness, they do, don't they?
No, I think that's 100% true. I mean, I don't think there's anyone I know that's doing really well right now that, or even if they're going through a hard time, they've got the support they need to help them go the direction they need. I think this comes down to that fundamental belief. Like, do I believe that what I'm trying to achieve is, even if I don't know all the steps to achieve it, do I believe that it's something that is achievable? And do I want to put my time, energy, and effort and money into it? And if you do, then actually it just makes the process smoother when you've got the support there, especially on the tough days. Because I don't know anyone who's gone for a big dream or a big goal. And you know, big is relative to everyone, you know. So for some women, the big goal right now is, I just want to have my own income. Even if it's, I mean, we have a student who recently posted in the group that her Friday win was that she'd earned her first 199 pounds separate to her husband in 14 years. I mean, and that was a big win for her. And then it turns out a week later, she ended up getting a job that was, you know, a couple thousand a month. So it just immediately, it just shifted, you know, it shifted the energy. But to get to that point where she earned her first 199 pounds was a big deal. Yeah, I think whatever dream you're going for, there's going to be whatever size it is, there's going to be barriers in the way. And and the reality is, as humans, we are meant to be in a community with others, to be supported by others. And actually, if you get the right support and the right connection with people, you will push through those barriers in a way that you wouldn't if you tried to do it on your own.
Yeah, I totally agree. And as I've gone on and done other courses, that's been critical, actually. So that's what I look for now in anything that I do, is where's the support network around it? Am I just going to be left on a screen looking at something, or is there a community that comes with it? It's the whole community that carries you through. And the Tech Pixies community is just fabulous. Loved it. But there was something you also reminded me of there, Joy, when the one thing that really resonated is that I was, you know, not very well, lying in bed, doing all this learning, loving it, but seeing loads of people doing really well, thinking, oh my goodness, how are they doing so well? And I'm not anywhere close to them. And it was your mantra of row your own boat.
Yeah.
That really stuck with me. And that's, I impart that same that same mantra to the students that I work with and anybody that I train, because it's, where are you and what do you need to achieve? And that's what you need to focus on. What everybody else is doing all around you is irrelevant. It's about you.
Yeah. And the thing you're referencing is when I was talking about when I was a rower, and the coach would say, when you're rowing and you're, you know, in the race, don't look out of the boat because it rocks the boat and it slows you down. You got to stay focused on what you're doing. And, you know, something I've started to say recently, which I think is a really good illustration of that, is don't compare your backstage to somebody else's front stage.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Because you don't know what someone else has gone through or what they've had to do to get to where they are, you know?
Yeah. And we all have those challenges. So another part of the coaching that I look at is supporting people who are growing themselves and their businesses whilst having difficult home lives in some way, shape or form. So I've got a child with dyslexia and ADHD and another one with ADHD. And it's just how just to have that balance, and how do I deliver everything I need to for them whilst also growing myself and growing my businesses. And it's the coaching that's got me through that bit as well, particularly in some moments of lockdown. That was really, really important.
Well, I was just speaking to someone who had a 4-year-old daughter, and, you know, she found it tricky with COVID in particular. Like, you couldn't hire anyone to come in, even if you had a job, and even the grandparents who were helping out couldn't come help. And so there definitely was a balancing act that we've, unlike any other that women experienced. And, you know, if partners weren't able to step up, it really meant that it fell back onto the woman, and that happened to a lot of people. So that's interesting. So we have a lot of listeners, and I'm sure there's someone listening right now who might have a child who's autistic, or who has some sort of a disability, or may, you know, like you said, be dyslexic or have ADHD. How do you help parents as they're making big life changes, such as starting a business or changing a career in the middle of having also a tricky home life. What's one of the things that you find really helps them?
So I'm also a qualified positive psychology coach as well. So I use all of the different tools and techniques from ICF, from positive psychology, and bring those all together. And it's just, everything is individual. So there's a range of tools that we can, as coaches, we have at our fingertips. But what is it that particular person needs at that time? And it could be just getting on top of time. And that's actually one of the biggest issues that many people have, is that how do I make sure that I'm using my time productively when I'm doing it? And one of the biggest changes actually I did with a group of women was just drilling down into making sure you use time intentionally. And for a couple of them, that was life-changing. Wow. So that's just making sure that, and that means resting as well. I think that's something as busy working mothers, parents, that we can forget that we have to invest in ourselves, which includes rest and recuperation and self-care. And that's not selfish. That's sensible, because then you can have the energy for everything else.
Well, I've said in the past that it's selfless to be a bit selfish, because actually,
totally.
If you fall apart and can't do anything, then because you didn't take the time you needed to recover, then it's actually worse off for everyone. So it is, but that's totally true. I mean, I tried to take 2 days out this week and just kind of escape. And actually I struggled to do that. So it's interesting. What's interesting as a coach, once you do have coach training, is you start sort of self-coaching and you start going, okay, so, why did that trigger that? And what caused that? And so I think I think coaching is great. But that, to me, what was really interesting is that when we were talking before we started recording, that you felt that, what was great was you got to fill in any gaps that you might have had, or at least knew what you knew, and with confidence, without that sort of, which I think is really important. A lot of people, very few people are actually certified in social media. And this is something that we're trying to change, because people aren't certified in it. They do have gaps, or like you said, they don't know that they know what they know, they don't know what they know, and they don't know what they don't know. And that makes it difficult to know, am I at the top of my game or not? So,
and I think it's just for an employer, anybody, whether you're a freelancer, whether you're going to go into a full-time job, the employer can sit. And I was having a discussion with a friend of mine who's now very senior in marketing, just saying, how come marketing doesn't command the salaries of some of the other professions? And she said, because it's not, you don't have to qualify to come in. Right. And I think that's, as somebody who's buying any kind of social media support, that's what you need to be looking for, is where has the training come from, and making sure that those gaps are filled. And so therefore that person who's been trained properly is going to be able to also have the confidence to say, do you know what, this isn't my thing, but I know someone who can. And this Tech Pixies network is amazing for that.
It is amazing for that. And there's a lot of collaboration happening between people. And also to that point, I think knowing that someone's certified and knowing where they got certification from is huge. And I actually think that should change. That, what it does, number one, as a woman who is certified, you can charge more because you've actually invested in your education.
Absolutely.
Right. And you've got certification and you're up to speed. But then I think the other side of that is just knowing, like you said, that this person has got all of the skills that you require because they've invested in the training.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think it's essential now that social media managers get certified, because there's too much information. There's too many pieces, especially that strategy piece that you were talking about. It's like bringing it all together. And that's where I think social media managers got it wrong for a long time, is they thought it was about building up the following and building up the engagement, which it is. You want to have an engaged following for sure. But if you don't translate that into the business needs, you're not going to be able to keep your job, because it's very important that it comes back to, what does the business need? Do they want more customers? And how is the social media connection either finding new customers or taking care of existing customers in a way that is positive and supportive. And that last piece that you said, which I think is so interesting, and it's a great place to close. I've had people email me and say, I only want to hire a tech pixie. And a huge piece of that is, number one, they know what skill set they're going to get. Number two, they know that they're tapped into a network that they can get whatever's missing from that network. But number three, it's most tech pixies, by the time they've finished the 90-day portion of the program, they've had a shift or a transformation in themselves personally.
Absolutely.
And that is something really powerful to work with. So maybe let's just close on that. What's been your personal transformation and personal shift from where you were to where you are now?
I mean, just unrecognizable. What Tech Pixies also taught me to do was to continually invest in myself. And as I've been, as I've thought, okay, here's a gap in the market, here's something that I want to go to, here's something that I just enjoy, and learning about my strengths and what I need to lean into. It's just that I keep thinking, if I was setting up a shop, how much money would I pay to set up a shop? And therefore, I should be thinking about the same thing in terms of investing in myself. And that was a really powerful message that came out through Tech Pixies that I've taken with me as well, is that investing in yourself is the most important thing you can do, because once you do that, whether it's skills or whether it's mindset, you're then able to help and support your family and people around you and yourself. Because he's right, once you know anything about coaching, you coach yourself, don't you? So it's that supporting piece, and that will transform your life.
Well, I'm just so excited to get to interview you and
to
share the story of someone who really leaned in. And this is the last piece, you have to lean in. The people who show up for the coaching, who do the work, who apply the lessons, they get the results. And I think that's, and I always say, even the snail gets to their destination if they keep moving forwards. If you apply yourself and you lean in and get the support you need, you will see the results. And, you came into our world about 2 years ago. How long was it for you before you kind of, you went all in on the training and then you started building these things? What was the time frame when you look back and go, wow, oh my goodness, it's like actually happened for me? What was that for you?
There were so many points along that journey that I had those moments of, oh my goodness, I can't quite believe I've done this, and I can't quite believe I've made this change and this development. And so but there was I remember coming into one of the calls with you as part of the alumni group, where you did a hot seat with me, and that was one of those moments of me thinking, oh my goodness, my knowledge is just so extensive in comparison to where it was. I think it was about a year in, and it was just that ability to then reflect back and realize that change. But even completing the course and doing the 90 days and getting to the end of that, the sense of achievement, and that's something we really need to celebrate. And I think particularly probably if we've got a big goal in mind, or if we're busy looking after other people, we don't celebrate our own wins enough. So and that was something else you taught me, because you're very good at doing that in your Facebook group.
I love that. And that's a great way to finish. I think if you're listening right now, just pause for a minute and reflect on the progress that you have made, no matter where you are in your life, because people don't do that enough. And we love to share wins. We have a Friday Wins post that gets hundreds and hundreds of comments every week, and lots of connections with everyone. Well, Anna, thank you for your time. I so appreciate it. And we'll speak soon.
Thank you, Joy. It's been wonderful. Thank you.